Good evening, and it's a Tuesday evening, and I'm in the shed messing about with this fella, and the old chain's a bit rattly. I know it's a little bit dry, but I think it might be on its way out. Sounds a bit too rattly, but there's loads of adjustment left, and that's what I'm here to do tonight, because it's a bit slappy, a bit floppy. So I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna adjust it. Got all the tools. Got a 10, got a 12, got a 36, got a beer. All bases covered. I've already had a couple of beers. Another long day at work. And after the last time I did something in the shed of an evening during the week, having had a restless day, was the rear brake master cylinder, which, as at least a couple of you know, didn't go as swimmingly as the video showed. You have to bear with me, I'm trying to put the legs down as well. That's all the fuss and nonsense going on. So yeah, it's just sloppy floppy chain, so might need the big fella on this. That was definitely to spec, that one. Right, might need a bit more. There we go. Give it a slap for good measure. Have it. Don't know why, just felt like doing it. Just, I don't know whether it's the alcohol. God, that is good stuff. San Miguel. I was on the Corona earlier. And funnily enough, I'm on the Corona now. Well, not on it, next to it. I'm nearer to it than you are, so shut up. Right, let's adjust this. Just take that block nut off the other side. Like that. And then this is still fairly tight. So I'm just going to give it next to fur cool. Both sides, and then we'll see. It's made no difference whatsoever. Let's give it about a quarter. I don't want to end up having to back it off. Oh, that's alright. How many is that? 10, 20, 5. Tight spot. There's the tight spot. What have we got there? You do the maths. 10, 20. About 20. Who's happy with that? Everybody? Good. Let me get the calipers. Stay there, behave. There they are. Mutitoyo, Mititayuo, Mitiwatiwayo. Right. What you at? That is 20. Alright, don't be a dickhead. It's 18.3 is what that is. And this side is 19. So we've got a 0.7 difference. 0.7, which is that much. No, it's not that much. How was I doing it? Was I doing it up here? I shouldn't do this with alcohol in the system. Redunculous. Right, that's better. 19. Where's the little marks? 19.2. And this side is still 19. So I think that's close enough. It's close enough. So let's back the old lock nuts up. Yeah, so as I say, it was a bit sloppy and flappy on the gear changes on the way home, so I thought, do you know what? Well, actually, there was a funny noise. Not like ha ha, funny as in, oh my god. So every time I stopped, I was like, just revving it a little bit. And, alright, has that changed it at all? Yeah, it's tightened it right up. It shouldn't have tightened it right up. Because it wasn't untightened. Now I'm going to have to back it right off. Start again. Right, back that back off. I wasn't happy with that, so I'm going again. Nope. All I've done is taken these back a couple of turns, slapped the tyre to get it pretty much back to where it was. I think somewhere there should do it. Now, let's check this to start with, because I think I've undone the other side. Let's do it down the bottom. 18 point 18.8. Didn't back that off very much. 19. Didn't back that off very much at all. $18. $18.7. Go on, get on there. 18. 18.6. Let's double check that. Alcohol induced. Right, down the bottom, that is 18 point, go Come on, where are you lining up? 6, 18.6. Down the bottom. That is 18.82. Am I being too pedantic there? Point 6.68. I think that is close enough. Right, let's see if this will behave this time. I might have actually left it a little bit loose on the axle before I did it up. Oh no, there you go. You can't see that. There you go. 10, 20. That shouldn't make any difference. No. Definitely not slapping the plastic. Slapping the plastic. Put the lock nuts back into place. And before I pinch them, I will take another measurement because obviously my mind is clouded. 18.82. Eighteen 18.72. That is goddamn close enough. Right, just need torque wrench out to sort that torquey bit, but yeah, that's still, I am going to grease it. There's the tight bit. Still got about 20 mil of play. I'm going to grease it, but it's just the rattle. Can you hear that? Let's put my mic a bit closer. Let's move you over. Sort of metallic rattle. I think that's the rollers rattling against the pins, which means that the grease is deficient. It's fucking me that's deficient. Oh, don't swear. But there's so much more adjustment left. Makes me wonder. Wonder if the previous Herbert, to save himself a couple of quid, has got to the end, shaved a couple of links out of it, and started again, because there's an awful lot of this left. That's the trouble when you buy a bike, an old bike. What's this, 53 plate? Not massively old, but old enough. Was that 20 years? 20 years. Or is that 20? Is that? No, it's not 13, is it? Is it 30? I don't fucking. No, it's 53. It's the 03, isn't it? It's the. This is the first of the fuel injected Gixxer 600s. Not the very first one. It's not like 01 production or anything. It's number 100. No, it's not. I'm lying. But it's an old bike, and I've got no service history with it. I've said before. So that really does sound. I don't want to put the camera closer. It really does sound like the whatever they're called. I got the name just a minute ago. More alcohol. Races, spacers. these bits here, shells, pin shells we call them. Doing this fucking shit. It does sound like they're loose, which they should be because they spin, but if there's no grease in there it's going to rattle against the pin, and that sounds like it's rattling against the pin. So I reckon, and this is totally off my own back, it's not Hercule Poirot or Mrs. Marple or Ironside. Oh, do you remember Ironside? There's a man who could sit down all day. Was it Ironside that was in the wheelchair? Anyway, doesn't matter. What I'm supposing, is they've nicked a couple of links out of this, and or even one, and started again with the adjustment, because that sounds old. A bit like me. But anyway, that's adjusted. I'm going to talk that up to, I don't know, 100 newton meters. I'm going to give that. And then grease the chain. I never clean them. Doesn't really help the situation, but I don't ever clean them. So I'm going to do that. And I don't know whether I'm going to let you watch that. I don't think I am, actually. I think that's a good little video. They're very interesting, informative. Not a tutorial as such. Definitely not a tutorial. It's just a fat guy in a shed who's had a couple of beers adjusting his chain. And, you know, oh, that feels really fucking shit again now. It's definitely not hitting the plastic. That'll do. That'll do. That's enough in my state. Yeah, that's enough from a fat warbler in the shed. Where's my tight spot gone? There. Where's he gone? So you can't even find the yeah. Meant to move the bottom till just before the top tension, didn't you? Just before you see it taking up the strain. So yeah, that's alright. That's alright, it's definitely a lot better than it was. In my addled brain it is anyway. You think what you want to think. But that's that fella done. I'm going to grease it up, which will be quietening it down, but yeah, that is enough. The old Honda, I've had one of them Seal Buddies. You know what a Seal Buddy is? One of these things. One of those. Because the left hand fork has been leaking, and it's just, I felt like there was a misting on it again earlier. Perhaps it was just a bit of rain on the way home. Yeah, it seems quite clear. But that's twice I've done that with that now, and it's still alive and kicking. But I can't carry on with that. I've got to get that done. So that's a future doobree to do. Doobree to do. Which is all up here. Ready to go. Seals and dust caps and nuts I didn't need. There's a, oh, that was when I did my mate's chain. I got a spare link in case I fucked it up again. Yeah, so I've got all the bits. Oh, that's for the brake lever on the Corona. Yeah, I've got all the bits to do the seals, and even looking at putting gaiters on there on the old Honda. I think these are massive. Look how long they are. Let's take the legs up on this stand a bit. yeah, so I was going to go with the Gators, but look how massive they are. That is ridiculous. I think, let's pan back, look. I think possibly I've got the wrong size there. Let me know what you think. I mean, they'll compress. I think, let's see how far that goes. I think compressed, they're the size that I need. So I'll take some measurements maybe and try and get some different Gators. But yeah, that was the idea, put some Gators on it. And I don't think they look too bad on here, to be honest. But something else might happen with the Honda before all this happens. Can't let you into that secret. So that's one little thing, the fork seal, that I should, maybe will do. And then on the Corona, come on, down you go. On the Corona, some of you might remember me saying I've got the old new yoke, and the reasoning behind this, let me just get set up. So you might remember I got some different clip-ons. These are Bitum, and they're multi-angle jobbies. So I was going to put these on, but the trouble was this part here, this part along here, interferes with the clutch there. So I can't move this, the clutch lever bracket far enough up the clip-on, this clip-on, which wasn't too bad. But this side, the brake lines aren't long enough to allow this brake lever and cluster down a bit so it matches that side, right? So I bought a new yoke to go on there, which was advertised for a Gixxer 600 on a 2003, and they lied. This is for upside down forks, and on the 03 Gixxers, I think it's 2001, well, up until 2003, it is right side up forks, and the 2004 model came out with the upside down forks. First 600 that came out with the upside down forks, I think, for the limited amount of research I've done. So anyway, they advertise these Gixxer 600 2003, but it's too big. Fits beautifully on my Gixxer 1000. On there, beautiful, ideal, but not on my Gixxer 600. So that's how I deduced, and then did a bit of research on it. So that was no good. But the reason I got the yoke was, oh, that was it, sorry. Not only was it the clutch adjuster that was messing about, but also where the bolt is, the pinch bolt for the top yoke is. So I could only have this at that angle to about there, where it hits the bolt, and I wanted it out a bit more and up a bit more, to relieve my aging spine. I love the bike, it makes silly noises and doesn't go very far very quick without screaming the shit out of it, which is exhilarating, and you end up not going very fast but thinking you're going really fast. So I like all that about it, but it's just doing my back in. if I do more than sort of 20 minutes, half an hour on it. So hence getting this, which as you can see, the pinch bolts are at the back. So there will be no interference, no matter what angle I want to go at. The pinch bolts aren't going to interfere with the clip-on. Brilliant. But the diameter is too big. Can't find one the right size anywhere. This was 45 quid. So I can't find one anywhere for around the same price. And I'm not sure all this is going to work on here. Whether I'll get on with it, like it, whatever. And I don't want to be cutting huge amounts out the fairing, because the frame comes right out here. So you would have to start chopping frame and that. And I don't want to be doing that. So I couldn't find one anywhere, unless you go for an ABM handlebar conversion kit or something like that, and then you're talking 250 or 300 quid. I think that just the yoke was coming in at about 200 quid to find out if it works, and it's like, it's such a big investment if it fails. So I had a word with a mechanic at work with this idea, which is the pinch bolt wants undoing before it go on there, which is, yeah, I think you got a bird edge on it. Have I pinched both sides up? I did try and pinch one side up to see how tight it would go, to see if it would fit on my forks, but it won't. Yeah, it's going. There you go. So now that the internal diameter of the tube is the external diameter of my forks. And as you can see, the outside diameter is compatible with the diameter, inner diameter of the yoke. So I'm going to put sleeves in. They obviously want cutting, so when I do up the pinch bolts, it pinches the aluminium as well as the pinch bolt for the yoke. Now, it all sounds a bit peely-wally and a bit dodgy and all the rest of it, but I'm not as concerned because the handlebars I'm using are clip-ons, which means they're going to clamp to the fork. So I've got that double skin of protection with these clamping on and all this clamping on. I probably wouldn't do it if the handlebar clamps were bolted to the yoke, because then you've got all the pressure of my fat sole pushing on all of this, and then you really are reliant on all that. And I honestly don't think that would be a problem, but in my head that would be the worst scenario. That's where you'd put the most pressure on the yoke, and if it didn't pinch properly or whatever, that's when you've got forks sliding through. Although saying that, the lower yoke would be enough to pinch it and stop it coming through. I think your top yoke is more to stabilise the forks, and that's why you only have one pinch bolt on the top and two on the bottom. Again, I don't know whether that's fact or I've just made that up in my drunken addled state, but that's the idea. So yeah, just cut these off, cut that off as a spacer, an insert to go in there, obviously with the same sort of cutout as that. Make sure it's all very clean and tidy with no burrs or anything, because I don't want to damage the top end of my fork. And then fit these clip-ons, which, as I say, are multiple adjustable, and I should be able to I've been sort of riding home and just pretending my it's like sitting in your dad's car and going brum brum, pretending my handlebars are up straight, and the difference on my back is it's phenomenal. It really is. Plus the shoulder on these is higher than what I've got there, so there will be a slight riser and with the handlebar up, obviously give me another bit of a rise, inch, 2 inches, something like that. So yeah, plus as I say, I can move them forward a bit, because on slow manoeuvres I don't like that handlebar coming right back into the tank and your hand's got no room. Just me. Shouldn't have a sports bike, really. Shouldn't have a super sports bike. But that's the idea behind all that. So if you have stayed this long on this video listening, thank you very much, and comments down below. But I definitely think it's doable. Doable, yeah. And yeah, that's it really. I mean, how much more information can you take in one video? This one's gone on far too long. I haven't had alcohol for a while. Oh yeah, that is good. There you go. There's a couple of things coming up. As I say, I've got really cocked up with them, but they're like, I think it was about £9, which is disgusting of me, because it's like, oh, it's only £9. That's all right. I can throw them away, but it is a waste of money. Waste of my money. So don't cry for me. I'll go to my own corner and cry. Anyway, that's enough from me. What am I doing now? I've got to torque that up. That's all good. Give that a grease up. That's it done. Oh, and you might have noticed this in the background. This, oh, I shouldn't handle it with my dodgy hands, is a kitchen towel holder with a shelf on it from a camper van. That obviously goes through there and holds your kitchen towel. I made that, and as I've said before, I'm not a carpenter, but yeah, another little bit project I've been getting on with in the background, whether you're interested or not. Oh, mediocre. I ain't been out on mediocre for a while again. It's disgusting. Every day I'm like, today, and the weather goes, no. So yeah, poor old mediocre, getting a bit side saddled. Anyway, that's enough. Thanks for watching. Comments down below. Catch you again. Ta-ra.